All right, so here we go. The next topic of the day, Cramer's rule. You have a system of equations. I'm going to do a specific example. That's why I have the matrix B, that's the matrix of constants, it's the 616. I have a specific matrix for A, and I happen to know that the determinant of A is 1 to make these calculations simpler. So this thing here, that's the only new thing. This is the first coordinate of the solution. The solution is going to be x1, x2, x3. The first coordinate is you take the matrix A and you replace the first column with the 616. How weird is that? Check it out. You put 616 in the first column, that's this matrix, take its determinant, which is going to come out to be a negative 126. So I did this by doing cofactor minors along the 6, 0, and 4. So I had 6, 15 minus 18, 0, and then plus 4 times, so I'm using this guy, it's 3 minus 30. So this comes out to be negative 126, which is actually the right answer. If you try and solve the system any other way, you do get negative 126. So to do x sub 2, you would do matrix A sub 2, which means I would take this matrix and replace 0, 5, 3 with 6, 1, 6. And I would do the determinant and divide it by the determinant of the original matrix, which in this case is again 1. That comes out to be 137. If you want to try it yourself, it's a way to tell that you understood. And then the third coordinate, you'd be replacing the third column with 616. Do the determinant, divide that by the determinant of the original matrix, which is 1. And you should get a positive 33. And those three numbers, negative 126, 137, and 33, check for all three equations where you would have x sub 1 plus 4 times x sub 3 equals 6, 7x sub 1 plus 5 times x sub 2 plus 6 times x sub 3 equals 1. Put those numbers in. They do check. And in class, when we had the more time, we did it like that. So take a minute to do it. You can pause the video. Did you know that? I'm going to pause. Got a weird one for you. We're going to have a quiz on Monday. And it's called the No Work Quiz. I've written a quiz. I've already written it. It's got 10 questions, none of which require work. But you can do work if you want to. Yay. I'm even allowing you to just go crazy and never ever study and not do anything and just look at your notes and calculator. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you don't know your stuff, you won't be able to find what you need and understand it fast enough to do the quiz. So you had better practice up. Understand your rules. It's going to be a determinant quiz. Everything's going to use determinants, but we're also going to use ideas from A and A inverse and ideas from some of the other vocabulary course. But mostly determinants. Determinants will be involved in almost every calculation. So here's some questions that aren't on the quiz, but are like what's going to be on the quiz. So problem 1, it's an open response. It's a free response one. Give me two matrices so that they have the same determinant, not 0, but the matrices are not equal. So, well, you get to make these up yourself. What's the smallest one you can go for? It's a 2 by 2. So I'll go 2 by 2. You can make them bigger if you want to, but it's harder to know what the determinant's going to be unless you use a trick. Let me do a 3 by 3 with a trick. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show off how good I am. I'm going to say, okay, matrix A is this. 1, 2, 3, 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 1. And because it's upper triangular, the determinant of A is 2. Ta-da! Now all I have to do is come up with a similar matrix. Not similar, but, a different matrix, but has determinant 2. Well, let's go upper triangular again. How about 2, negative 1, negative 1, 0, 0, 0. And now it doesn't matter what I throw in here. How about a 5 and a 10 and a 2? Because the calculation is 2 times negative 1 times negative 1, which is again positive 2. And obviously these two matrices are not the same. We have achieved the required thing. Two matrices that are not the same, but with the same determinant, and the determinant is not 0. So you make up something like that. I'm definitely going to have a few questions like that, where you make up your own. And the only way to get it right is to know what's going on, to know the vocabulary. But make things easy on yourself. Use the ideas that we've learned about determinants. So use all the shortcut ideas that you can get your hands on. So that's a nice trick to know, that you can get the determinant of an upper triangular or lower triangular matrix just by multiplying the diagonals. Problem 2, here's a property you should know. The determinant of a matrix, like in this case is 5, the determinant of its inverse is the reciprocal, 1/5. Number 3, this is its own question here. What's the determinant of this matrix? Now this is a no work quiz, which means there must be a fast way to do this. So let's say you have this and you don't know what to do. Well, then compute the determinant. Imagine how you're going to kick yourself when it comes out to be 0, because that's what this one is. Because notice that the second row plus the third row is equal to the first row. Guaranteed 0 determinant, guaranteed, because these two rows add up to be that row. Let's say you do it the long way. Let's do the cofactor minors along this column, that first column. So that would be 1 times this little 2 by 2, which is 0 minus 1. And then it's this 1, which is in a negative position. Negative 1 times, it's this 2 by 2. 1, 2, 1, 1. So it's 1 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is negative 1. So it's negative 1 plus 1, which is 0. We knew it was going to be 0, and it came out to be 0. I wasn't lying to you. That's Monday's quiz. It's going to be the last 20 minutes of class, and here's what I don't want to see. I don't want to see this. Because if you waited until that quiz to read the book, you're a dead man. You have no chance. Study up, get your ideas down, and the list of properties of determinants, it's a short list. You should have them down. You know, the book lists them for you. Write them on a piece of paper if you want to. Get it organized. But be able to find what you need fast. Don't be reading the book. Don't be reading your notes. During the quiz, you will not have time. Yes, and get an A on this quiz. It's meant to be a quiz that you show off how good you are. All right, see you later.